Hey Manny.
Hey, Manny.
Sounds good. Hello, Max and Doug. Thank you so much for a few minutes. Congratulations on Pilgrim. As a girl dad myself, and seeing that journey together, it really warmed my heart. Especially right now,
Oh,
it's funny. She's in the other room right now. She could probably hear me, but especially right now that she's 14, she's going into high school. There's a lot of little notes that I was able to take from the film, so I appreciate that.
that means the world to me because it's people like us who I I made the film for. You know what I mean? Like people going through this that we're just making this up as we go, as parents and so I'm glad that you enjoyed it. That means a lot to me.
So just to kick off, tell us a little bit about Pilgrim.
Um, it basically started as we had done so much other projects in the past, and then Scout a few years back was like, she's like, I want to make a film. Let's make a film. And we decided right away, let's just make a feature, let's jump right into it. And instead of crowdfunding, we were like, let's see what we can really do with nothing, you know, because you get that idea for a project and you're so excited about it, but then time goes by and you lose steam, you're crowdfunding and all this stuff. It takes forever. And we were just like, let's go full steam ahead right away. And bang out the script in, probably about 6 or 7 weeks. And then a few months later, probably about a month later, we started shooting. We just went for it. And it was a blast the whole way through.
Now, tell me about that process because I was looking at the kind of the production notes and it looks like it was really a family affair. I mean, all of you guys are involved. Is that something that was talked over at the dinner table? Did you guys set specific times for it? And just tell me that process, especially because it feels like such a personal story.
I think so. I mean, Max, you chime in on this, like the Purdy family dynamic,
Yeah, we very much are, as all independent filmmakers do, we use what we have at our, disposal. And luckily, all of us are kind of very passionate and we all kind of have the same like attitude towards filmmaking where we like to look at it from a sort of punk rock perspective and just see how we can make this work with what we've got. And so oftentimes that means, oh shit, I completely forgot I'm in this scene. I need someone else to hold camera. Who's on set, And, I think we really like the sort of not like fully improvisational, because obviously there is a plan behind it, but we like the sort of collaborative set environment. It's a very democratic set, it feels like.
Yeah, and we would just literally, like what he was saying, the family is, the most, there's probably half the cast or, a third of the cast. And we just were all just jack of all trades, and we'll be in a scene and just like, we'll just be holding a light for the other person on their coverage. And then we swap off and we just kind of made it up as we went. We knew enough about how to do it the right way and like, okay, how far can we bend the rules without, breaking them and still get something that we like?
And what is that like to be able to know that you guys could all collaborate, with either directing? I mean, Max, you're doing composing for the film. I think I saw your wife was doing some of the cinematography for it, and just acting, of course, writing. It feels like you guys all have all the pieces. Oh, tell me about that. Where did you guys get your passion for filmmaking?
Um, for me, my wife and I met years ago, so many years ago, in an acting class, and she's also a writer. And we did some plays together, wrote and produced some plays and acted in plays together. And there's always the intention of moving into film, but it kind of, life happens. You have kids and, priorities change. But then about 8 years ago, we kind of rekindled that, and the kids got really into it. And I remember both of them, saying, I want to be an actor when I grow up. And I said, good, learn to run a camera, learn to write, learn to edit. And I think, that's one I think was actually good advice. I've given my kids plenty of bad advice, but that was good because I think that they really learned so many different aspects of it by doing that.
Hmm. Max, chime in a little bit about your passion for it. Where'd it come from? Yeah, I just sort of growing up with not just, because I was able to experience from a young age being on a couple sets, but more than that was just having a family that loves movies. It's having that made me personally interested in it, and it caused me to look at it from a passionate lens rather than a career lens, even though I obviously want to do this as a career. And because of that, having a family who's all in the same boat and shares the same indie passion, it's very easy for our sort of goals to just coalesce into something. And, for this film, it's like, hey, you play music, so why don't we have you compose the score? And so we all take big swings with, hey, it might be this person's first time writing, first time directing, and my first time composing, but let's give it a shot?
But it's always going to be somebody's first time doing something, and
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what a better way to do it than with your family. And
Hmm.
I love your advice of really being able to be the jock of all trades. I mean, I know for me, I didn't have a degree in journalism. My background's actually in cooking, believe it or not. That's what
Oh,
my
wow.
degree's in. And but so what I did is I applied at a news station, and I was a news photographer. I was out at crime scenes. I was in the digital room, and currently I'm actually a news producer now because I've gotten pretty good at it, and still I'm able to be an entertainment journalist at the same time.
That's
But
incredible.
you gain a lot of respect for all parts of it, and it allows you to grow in ways that you never thought. So the fact that you're instilling this in Scout and in Max, and you can see their careers bloom, from one film to another. That's amazing.
Oh, thank you. We're happy about it. So,
Now with that, I mean, you guys are going out, you guys are working together, making a film. It's going to be featured at Dances with Films, and given my notes, the first screening was sold out to the point where they have to have a second screening. What does it mean to you that um, there's that kind of anticipation for the film?
um, I'm excited about it just because, of course, the festival itself, it's a great festival. The venue's incredible. But then on top of that, yeah, having people, excited to see something that you put your heart and soul into, it's cool. And you always have those like family and friends that are like, ah, we gotta go see their damn movie, or we've all been one, yeah, one of those, but the response has been really like, moving outside of that circle, where we're getting kind of people that we don't know very well. Friends are telling friends, and they're responding to the trailer and things like that. That feels really good. It's gratifying because, I mean, as in your own career, it's like it takes a while to get something going. And this film took a while to make because we didn't really have a budget, so we just kind of like, if you don't have money, you got to have time. And but I think it was definitely worth it, and we could be kind of, I don't want to say carefree, but we could be a little more gutsy in our approach to shooting stuff because we weren't afraid of failing. It's like the worst thing it is, we just clear some sections, some stuff off an SD card.
Yeah, yeah, it feels. I think it must feel great not to have the pressure of those overlords sometimes to overlooking everything you need to do or that specific timeline. What did you guys learn about each other in the process? I feel like every film, regardless of the filmmaker or actor, is really a chance to learn something new about themselves. And this, I mean, this case is obviously no difference. What did you guys learn about yourselves and each other in working on Pilgrim?
I mean,
Go for it.
I can say just from watching Dad and Scout direct, I learned just how beautifully unpretentious directing can be. Because, like, I had always had this image in my head that directing is some guy sitting in a chair who is omniscient and knows all, and no one can question the integrity of him. And I feel like there's something about being on set with Dad and my sister where there was an absolute transparency about what was going on, and there wasn't this attitude of like, you don't understand our vision. It's, you're a part of this, we value your input and let's make this together. I really appreciated the collaborative environment that they created as directors, and it taught me a lot about directing and how, like, you don't have to forfeit your personality to make a good film. And I find that really inspiring.
No, that's well said. Something I learned, I mean, like, we're all very close. I didn't, have epiphanies about members of the family, but everything was certainly strengthened, and we just all love movies together, So it was a blast. But one thing I want to give a shout out to this guy. He We were getting down to the wire, and we needed to finish everything, and we needed the score, and Max was going to do it, but Max kind of needed he had brain surgery last December.
Mhm.
Wow.
And yeah, he took a quarter off from school and he's doing great now. But it was a scary time. And then like 2 or 3 weeks after, we're like, I hate to do this to you, but we need a score. And he just like, how long did it take you?
I think it was like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks,
Hey, just banged out 24,
26.
26 songs, in that period while recovering. And it was just amazing. I was just like, wow, like I need some of that creativity, because he just went to town on it, and we were really impressed.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, creativity, tenacity, and just, the will to not let something like that hold you back. That is amazing. That is inspiring. So, I mean, big kudos to you, Max. That's really, really cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. No, it's easy
So,
when you're unemployed.
you're working on the film. You're
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
unemployed. It's
Self-employed.
just
Yeah.
maybe you're not getting paid as much, or at
Yeah,
all. I don't
yeah.
know. So yeah, I did want to ask where did this story come from? A lot of times especially in indie films, I find that some of these stories really come from a very, very personal place, and the topic of loss, and then also just dealing with the fact that you're going to lose another member of your family, even if it's for something good like going to Berkeley. I'm actually from Berkeley. Is a great it is a great thing, but it still causes trauma. So where did the story originate for you guys?
Fortunately, there was nothing that dark in our family, the loss of a parent. It really came from Scout and I just wanted to do a kind of a two-hander film. And we also, we've all played a family in another film. And we've played a family in like short films, things like that. We're like, we got to break this up a little bit. So like Brooke, my wife, their mom was the one that, sorry, Brooke, you died, and you're gonna be playing another part. And there's a running joke that everyone keeps killing mom in all of our scripts, but other than that, like the story really was about just a connection between a parent and a teenage child, and um, how much that we just kind of, as from a parent's perspective, like we just make things up as we go, and you have to. It's like the filmmaking really replicate was, very similar to our philosophy on being a parent, And then for Scout's character, just really someone trying to find their place, which is a tough thing for a kid nowadays. People say, "Oh, kids have it easy nowadays." That's crap. They have
Mhm.
it. Yes, they have access to so many more things, but with that becomes so much more pressure for everything. You got to be an expert in everything, and that's really tough for kids now. And
No,
then
I
so
100%.
yeah, we just wanted to play with that relationship and play with those kind of tones, and from there we just like, let's do something outside. It was kind of stacked on top of each other, like throwing out ideas, and some would get discarded, some would get, we'd build upon, and it just kind of went from there. And when Scout and I were writing it, it was like she'd write 4 pages, I'd come home, write three, and then back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and next thing you know, you got a script.
That's a great collaborative process. Doug, Max, thank you so much for your time. You represent very well for fathers out there because yeah, I can attest to that. There is no script for it. There is no manual. We are making it up as we go along, but we're trying our best. And I
Yep,
think that
exactly.
Pilgrim showcased that. It's really nice to meet you both virtually. Congratulations on the film and have fun at the festival.
Thank you so
Nice,
much, Maddie.
nice to meet
Appreciate it.
you.
Nice to meet you.